Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be talking about 4 signs that you can recognize in your life that the universe is supporting your journey. So wherever you may find yourself right now, you may experience a sense of a worry, you may have that big dream or a vision for the future or something that you're working on, or you may be dealing with something and you may feel a sense of separation between yourself right now and the support that you need. Or maybe you're lacking that feeling or sensation of trust that everything will work out. Because of course we may be tricked sometimes with all the stories that we've heard, all the conditioning we've been through, that we lose the faith into our own power, into that own understanding that your creative capacity is here to be used, not to be ignored. And often people are ignoring it because of the things we've heard. So firstly, I want to remind you, my friends, that bravery comes from training yourself to do hard things you're afraid of. Trust comes as the byproduct of doing what you wish to accomplish without quitting until you see the results. Worthiness comes from knowing that you don't need anything to be enough because you've been born whole. Conditioning makes you feel that you're not. Self-discovery then is a path back to wholeness that lives within you. As long as you are looking for tools and ways of letting go of unnecessary programs, synchronicities will be leading you to where you need to be. And for that you need to be patient and gentle with yourself. So the first sign you may experience that the universe is supporting you on this journey is that you constantly feel reminded of your daily choices. And this one is really important because if we look into our lives, we can recognize that we can always choose what we do, right? In each moment we choose what we do, most of the time unconsciously. But if we become more aware, we can choose knowledge over entertainment. We can choose clarity over distraction. We can choose understanding over judgment. We can choose purpose over emotional impulses. We can choose boundaries over exhaustion, and this one is huge. We can choose wisdom over complaint. We can choose tears over suppression. We can choose pleasant activities over sadness. We can always choose wisely, and it's always a matter of choice. Most of the results in our lives are a byproduct of tiny little choices we make on moment-by-moment basis. So when you feel reminded of your daily choices, it's a sign that the universe is supporting you and that there's so much you can do about your life. When you feel powerless, you're not actually powerless. You've just given your power away to the ideas, thoughts, and emotions that make you feel powerless, which doesn't make you powerless. It gives you an illusion of being powerless. And that's why you need to remind yourself who you are, so you can get back to your power, so you can use it for creating, so you can use it for choosing more wisely, right? That's where you recognize that the universe is always supporting you because you are the universe. Remember, the word universe means universe, one verse, one sound. You are that sound moving through life, creating life. That's why we say you are the creator, because you're creating life. You're giving life to life when you create something new. Remember, when you think a thought, you eventually put it into action and you create something with it. You experience something out of your thoughts. That's what it means to be a creator. You're thinking about something you think you need to buy until you go into a shop and buy it. That's how your thoughts are navigating you. But as soon as you become aware that you are navigating your thoughts, so thoughts can navigate your life, you recognize that you're not a victim of your mind. You need to start using your mind as a tool of the Creator. That's where you start shaping it, training it, sharpening it, right? You get your power back. And for that, you need some willpower, right? You need some awareness. That's why we need to train ourselves. The act of expansion of awareness is a great workout of the self, of detaching from the false programs and getting back to your real nature. The second sign you can recognize in your life that the universe supports your journey is that you feel a need to move. How often you feel a need to move? And sometimes it's like we feel a need to explore new places, to travel, to go into nature, to go somewhere else. Like we feel a bit stuck, and the universe says to you, through you, that you need to move. Let's be active a little bit. Your body is an animal, and it needs to be active. If you're not taking care of being active, doing something actively, like working out, walking around in nature, stretching the muscles, you will feel stuck. You will feel lower energy, you will feel slower, your mind will become slower because your brain is slowing down, and suddenly you will feel lazy. And you're not meant to be lazy all the time. Like here and there it's okay, but not all the time. And for that, you need to recognize that your body is an animal and it needs movement. That's why every time you move, you experience clarity. You refresh. It's like your brain would go through a refreshment and you just feel better. And suddenly you know what to do. If you feel I need to move, like I need to travel, to explore new places, whatever is possible for you, don't ignore that sign. It just means that the universe wants you to experience the clarity. You see, clarity is your greatest coach. Your greatest mentor is clarity. And the reason for that is because in clarity we experience answers. We experience wisdom that we are searching for. And clarity needs time. The best representation for that is water, right? If you put mud or dirt into water and shake it a little bit, you will find a dirty water. But if you put it onto a table, you will see that what water needs to purify itself is time. The dirt will fall down to the surface of the glass or a bottle, and the top of the water will purify itself. And that's how clarity is experienced. All the unnecessary thoughts will calm down and you will see things clearly, and then you will know what to do with all those unnecessary thoughts. But this process needs time, and that's what the universe is reminding you when it says to you through a feeling that you need to move. When you move, you experience fresh new energy, a force that's inspiring you to do something new. That's why you shouldn't ignore this sign. The third sign from the universe that you are supported on your journey is that just before you give up, you experience a synchronistic event that brings you to necessary information or confirmation. This one is beautiful. How often it happened to you? Like, you were working on something for such a long time. You wanted to experience results because you've been so attached to the result, or something scary might be happening, like you were lacking money and you needed to get certain amount of money so you were able to pay bills or whatever it was. But things were not clicking. Nothing was happening in your favor. And you wanted to give up. You wanted to quit everything. And like you were completely out of control. And just before quitting, just before giving up, something happened. And eventually everything aligned. How often it happened to you? Because if I look my past, it happened so many times that I finally started trusting that I am always backed up, that I'm always supported, that there is no need to worry. But we need to go through that process of being blinded, like, you know, that process of darkness where we are exposed to our deepest fears, but at the end everything works out. We need to move through that process so we learn to trust. Because, like I said before, I said that trust comes as the byproduct of doing what you wish to accomplish without quitting until you see the results. This process can't be accomplished without actually doing it, right? We can't learn to trust something without being exposed to our fears and overcoming them with action. That's why we need to be exposed to whatever is going on and still do what we feel that we need to do. And that's what the universe is teaching you. Every time when you feel like you want to give up and you just keep up a little bit more and you experience a synchronistic event that reminds you that everything is always working for you. Sometimes synchronistic events may come to us as a certain information, a certain quote, or a certain amount of money, or the right person comes to us that says, yeah, well, I know that person, I will give you a phone number, call her and she will help you, or something like that. Those are the things that happened to me so many times in the past that I just know that this is how it works. And then, you know, after some time, I've met so many people that experienced all the similar events through those kind of synchronistic experiences that you just know that's how it is. That's the beginning of learning how powerful you truly are, and you shouldn't ignore that. So just before you give up, you may experience a certain synchronistic event that will give you a necessary support that you need on this path. And the fourth sign that reminds you that the universe is supporting your journey is a feeling of a need to actualize your potential. And this one is huge. How many of you feel like a need to actualize your potential? We need to remind ourselves, if we go into ancient Greek philosophy, we recognize that many of those different philosophers were discussing this word being. For them, it was an interesting word because we are called human beings. So they came to an explanation of this word being as a thing being able to develop its abilities and capacities. That's why we are the only species on this planet called being, human being. Because we are able to develop our own abilities and capacities, and we don't know what's the limit. That's why we feel a need to expand ourselves, to get to know ourselves better. And that's what it means to know ourselves better. Know thyself means to know all about yourself. And we never know all about ourselves until we see how much can we expand our capacities, right? And that's something really beautiful about ourselves, about life. So when you feel a need to actualize your potential, it's a sign that the universe is supporting your journey, and you finally come across this sensation that's like a language of the universe, a language that's speaking through you, within you, as a feeling. You see, universe is more like a vibrational field of energy, and it speaks to us through those kind of vibrations that are experienced as sensations, as feelings. And when you feel a need to actualize your potentials, it's a sign that there's something really big within you, a huge potential, actually more potentials. Like when we're talking about our talents, our natural gifts, our abilities to learn, to grow, to expand, those are incredible potentials. And nobody can tell you what you're truly good at. You may find some guidance in zodiac wisdom, in the knowledge of zodiac science. You may find some guidance there. But at the same time, you need to understand your mind. You need to understand what makes you unique. You need to recognize that your weaknesses are actually your greatest power, because they are reminding you what you should stop doing and what you should pay more attention to. Because sometimes we may say, well, I'm not a good communicator, but then you go home, you find yourself alone, and you fall in love with writing, right? And it's a sign that maybe your weakness is being social. Like you're not good at hanging with people, and you don't have anything to talk about. That's why you go home, you like to be alone, and you fall in love with writing. That's where you recognize, well, maybe my weakness has reminded me of my true potential, which is writing, right? So we need to pay attention to where we are forcing ourselves, so we can recognize what feels more natural. Because often people think that they should force themselves to become better at something, while we actually need to recognize what feels the most natural and work on developing that part of us even more. Because to me, what's the most natural for me is creating. But still I need to develop my skills for painting, for example. I need to develop my skills for talking, for writing, for whatever I choose to do. Even though it feels natural for me, I just feel a need to develop the skills, but it is something like a part of my nature. That's why you feel a need to actualize your potentials. The universe is supporting your journey, my friends. So this is it. I will leave you here. I hope you found something valuable today. And to all of you who would love to support my art, you can find it in my Etsy page. I Draw My Passion. Go there and check it out. For everyone who needs some daily reminders, go and check out my Instagram page, AttractPassion, Facebook page, AttractPassion. You can find there all those inspiring messages. And my friends, till next time, one love.